No intro today. We're gonna get straight into this. Honestly, tell me something. I'd like to ask all of you, to those of you who have played the original Perfect Dark, what was your experience? Because to be honest, I'm not a big fan, but I never exactly played it. But then again, with this remake coming up, we all know, well, let's just say Xbox, or you know what, I'll just show you.
It is basically impossible to trust video game companies. They show off their titles, they make all of these big promises, and then when it finally comes time for it to launch, it is a complete and utter disaster. They will promise you the world and give you slop. And when it comes to Perfect Dark, I know a lot of people have a lot of love and nostalgia for Joanna and this story, and they wanted the remake to come out and for it to be really solid. And there were some individuals that were heartbroken when we heard just a few days ago that this game was canceled. I personally wasn't, just because we had only seen such a limited amount of the gameplay and kind of the world, but now we're finding out that it was basically all fake.
Before I let Veridot continue, I don't think I was that surprised. I haven't watched the gameplay or something, but sometimes you have to ask yourself, let's just say you watch it. Let's just say you watched their recent trailer, and you thought to yourself, something's not right. Why do you get the feeling that something isn't right here? Think about that, folks.
So a level designer for the Perfect Dark reboot has responded to claims that the gameplay reveal from the 2024 Xbox showcase was basically fake. Perfect Dark developer The Initiative was shut down as part of the ongoing mass layoffs in Microsoft's gaming division that began on July 2nd, 2025, and the game is now officially canceled. The Initiative was founded in 2018, and Perfect Dark was set to be the fledgling studio's debut project. Why would you ever work with a debut studio on something as big as Perfect Dark? That makes absolutely no sense to me.
I was about to title this 150% cooked. Perhaps I would say this, 150% kaput, dunzo, or in this case, eliminated, 150% eliminated. That's a good title. You know what, let's see what the second option.
You would think that for something like Perfect Dark, they would want to make sure that that would be a project that wouldn't be canceled because it's such a big name. Maybe these companies are finally realizing that constantly pumping out remakes and reboots and remasters isn't always going to be a sound strategy, or maybe they just figure we have 18 better games in the works that are going to be more successful, so I guess we have to can this.
Well, I think the problem is this is the difference between either West and the East. Regardless of what you want to say in the East, okay, for Resident Evil Remake, that's okay. I'm all for it. I like it. Majority of the Eastern content or Eastern video games, they innovate. They knew, yes, remakes can be good for nostalgia, but the majority of them, let's say you want to make a game that can attract more players, remakes is temporary. It will not get more sales. You need to do something different. You need to make a new game. And the East, along with AA and Indie, they innovate. They adapt, they listen to the gamers, the consumer, and boom, they have their sales.
It's definitely not a good look for Microsoft or The Initiative, and especially now when we're finding out that apparently this was all just basically faked. So in a post-Kotaku reporter, Ethan Gotch.
Actually, if you guys don't know, just in case if any of you are unaware, Ethan Gak, or Gok, you know what? I'm gonna call him Gak, okay? Ethan Gak is the last one, okay? There's no more. They reported that Kotaku's being sold again. And most importantly, we didn't even know how much it was sold because many creators says that Kotaku is worth nothing. I mean, is it true? I always wonder, how much is Kotaku worth? And I do mean the old days.
Ethan Gotch shared on Blue Sky, just an absolute slop of a sentence. A source that spoke to him after the Xbox showcase in 2024 said the Perfect Dark gameplay trailer was basically fake. When asked to define what he meant by fake, Gotch said that the gameplay slice shown off in the Perfect Dark trailer was not indicative of the level of progress perceived to have been made on the game, which is not even that shocking anymore, because if you are putting hundreds of millions of dollars into a game and it ends up being negatively received, you've just wasted all of that money. So I think that this is going to be a new trend in the industry, a very bad one, but a new trend nonetheless, where companies will announce like 18, let's say for argument's sake, major things a year. They'll announce all of these big games and then gauge reaction. And then from there, maybe a year later, right? They'll sit down and say, okay, X, Y, and Z trailers were all received positively. Let's greenlight those. And then the ones that people didn't like, the ones that were ratioed, the ones that faced backlash, we're just going to cut those. We'll just let them fade into the abyss. Or if people keep asking, we'll just say the project's never turned out to be a thing. And I think that that is a very dangerous strategy on their part, but one that I think they're going to barrel forward with. It's dangerous because then we're going to be getting everything announced. We're going to be getting remakes, remasters, new franchises. There's going to be so many promises that they don't intend to keep.
Well, before that, I think the question is, you always remember one thing: never make promises you cannot keep. I don't make promises I don't keep, okay? Okay, let's just say I was a developer and I promise you a good game that is better, either, I don't know, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League or South of Midnight. I deliver that promise. Remember, just a theory, okay? Because when you didn't keep your promise, okay? People will never support you. That's the thing. Never keep promises you can't make. Promises are dangerous stuff, folks. You don't mess around with it. Unlike in Resident Evil, I don't know if Perfect Dark is going to be similar like Resident Evil. There's a lot of exploration. Then again, with the creator who attacks gamers, calling them racist, yeah, you know what? That's the first sign. And guess what? The game canceled. So, what are you going to say about that? Seriously, never ever attack your consumer.
Our trust being so low with these companies and developers, I just think that that is only going to continue to damage their reputation. But hearing that this was all basically fake, it is sad to a certain extent. But at the same time, because we only saw such a small slice of it, I can't sit here and shed a tear because I can't get very excited for games now when you see 10 or 15 seconds of gameplay or you see a 1-minute CGI trailer. Like, I have to see a lot because we get promised a lot and then they completely underdeliver. The former Perfect Dark level designer, Adam McDonald, has responded to the controversy surrounding the gameplay trailer and explained which aspects of the Perfect Dark trailer were real and which were fake. According to McDonald in a series of posts on Blue Sky, Perfect Dark had a real demo but worked best if you played it the way the person playing it in the video plays it. The real gameplay system shown off worked just enough to look good in the video. The parkour is real, the hacking and deception is mostly real, the combat itself is, in quotes, real, but it's set up to be played exactly that way. He goes on to explain that the team made decisions to avoid intentionally lying to players about the game state. That sounds terrible.
Lying to players? Genius, why the hell do you call people racist? McDonald, why on earth did you call, I don't know, or perhaps one of your developers, gamers, racist? This is just like Cyberpunk. I have a feeling it's gonna be similar to Cyberpunk, even though it won't be a buggy mess like Cyberpunk. But if they put de novo, that's gonna be a world of hurt, okay? I'm not taking that chances. I will criticize de novo to the end. Which reminds me, I'm gonna make another video on my second channel called Capcom is 150% cooked because they threatened to sue gamers. Make that make sense.
In my opinion, there's absolutely no way that I would have any trust or faith in them after this statement if they ended up surviving. McDonald was responding to controversy surrounding the game's now only gameplay trailer after the claim that it was totally faked started to spread. Though the trailer was not entirely faked, he does admit that there was some fake stuff in it and detailed the specifics. This just sounds terrible, in my opinion, that they thought that this was going to be good, that they thought that they could just like finagle a trailer together and maybe judge people's initial reactions, and it is just not a good look all around at all whatsoever. This is why our trust in companies and journalists and just people in the industry in general is at an all-time low.
Paradox was right. It's an all-time low because most of them are activists. Yet constantly, they continue one after another to ignore gamers, to ignore the writing on the wall or the reality of it, and yet you wonder why people like these, or perhaps people who attack gamers, got laid off. And I do mean the activists. Seriously folks, you just make a good game and that's it. This is the reason why genre existed. You don't say things like, oh, if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you don't like this, turn on the TV, touch grass. You don't say that. That's a surefire sign the game will fail. I don't know folks, for Perfect Dark, I know some of you probably interested in it. I can't stop you. If Perfect Dark Remake is for you, then go for it. But if it's not, just play the original. It's better the original than the remake.
I'll help.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you, both of you.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detective or want to see me play games. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.